Everyone should see a bar at the top of your screen that says the meeting is now recording. If you need a transcript, there is also a transcript available. And I will hand it off to Kosar.
Thank you so much, Kelly. Glad to see so many folks on the call today. It's a full house. It's first time for that. I think we've been missing a couple of folks, and I haven't been as present either. But good evening to all the folks who've been able to join today. My name is Kosar Muhammad. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am one of the co-leaders of the Southside Green Zone Council. Before we would begin, I would like to note that this meeting includes the remote participation of members as authorized under Minnesota Statute Section 13D, Section 021. Due to the declared local health pandemic, the city will be recording and posting this meeting to the city's website and YouTube channels as a means of increasing public access and transparency. Board members are public and subject to the Minnesota Open Meeting Law. I will now call this meeting to order and ask Kelly to call the roll so that we may verify the presence of a quorum. And if we're able to have folks maybe provide a brief introduction or pronouns or their preferred pronouns, as well as something that you're looking forward to this spring or early summer.
You want to kick us off, Kosar?
Yeah, for sure. So once again, my name is Kosar Muhammad. My pronouns are she, her, hers. And I am just really excited for warmer weather and sunshine. Really exhausted with the gloomy weather, excited to not see snowfall on the ground anymore, but really excited to see some sunshine.
Cool. I'll start with Southside members. So let's do Samara next.
Hey everyone, my name's Samara Adam. I use they, them pronouns. I am a co-facilitator and voting member on the Southside Green Zone Council. And I definitely spaced out when about what you said we're supposed to say, Kosar. But I'm happy to be here.
Kosar, do you want to share the icebreaker one more time?
Yep, and I'm typing it out as well in the chat. So name, preferred pronouns, if you would prefer to share, and then something you're excited about for, spring or early summer. Or if you'd like to share something else if it's not weather oriented.
That's right. I graduate with my bachelor's degree in like 3 weeks, so pretty excited.
That is awesome. Karen Clark.
Hi. I can't seem to turn my camera on. I don't know why, but I'm here. And Karen Clark, I live in East Phillips, use pronouns she, her, and hers. And I represent East Phillips, also the Women's Environmental Institute on this board. And what I'm really looking forward to is the hundreds of teeny tiny little seeds that I've been planting in trays with plugs, looking forward to them starting to come up, little green shoots. I'm just waiting. And some of them maybe in the next few days. There's one set of peppers that won't come up for 30 days, and I'm only about halfway there. Anyway, I'm looking forward to those coming up.
Thanks, Karen. Joel?
Hi, everyone. I'm Joel McCarles, he, him. I live in Midtown Phillips, and I'm on the Southside Green Zone Council, and I also work and represent a community development nonprofit down here called Banning Community. I am excited to be able to go biking again and not getting wet or freezing while trying to do it.
Thanks, Joel. Jose Luis?
Hi, everyone. My name is Jose Luis, resident of East Phillips. He, him, his, my gender pronouns. And as Karen Clark said too as well, I'm looking forward to all of our seedlings and to pop up and to transplant them. And also looking forward to giving you all a tour of our deep winter greenhouse sometime this late spring or early summer.
Great.
That sounds like a great Southside Green Zone activity. I will follow up with you. Do we have any other Southside Green Zone members? I did hear from Megan that she wasn't going to be able to make it. Okay, not hearing any. So we do not have a quorum for Southside. We're working on it. If you, this is an announcement for later, but if you know anyone who lives in Phillips or Cedar Riverside and they want to join the Southside Green Zone, we have 10 openings. So apply now. All right, so then going to Northside Green Zone, let's start with Georgianne.
JC Hatch, Jacqueline Zito, one other.
Or maybe not. Jim, why don't you go next?
Hi, I'm Jim Vohl, Northside Green member. I'm also a city employee. I work for CPED, Community Planning and Economic Development. So I'm a non-voting member on the committee. He, him, his. And I'm also, like a lot of people have said, I'm really looking forward to gardening and planting stuff outside, even though I know that it can take until May before we should be doing that, but I'm still looking forward to it.
Thanks,
My
Jim.
tulips are coming up too, so I'm excited about that.
Nice. Akia.
Hello, everyone. My name is Akia, and I use he, him, his pronouns. One thing I'm really looking forward to is open water fishing. So can't wait to get back out there. Just enjoy the river.
Thanks, Akia. Anthony?
Hey, everybody. My name's Anthony Taylor. I'm with Neighborhood and Community Relations. Good to see everybody. Just really, honestly, just to be able to, you know, have my windows open in my house and drive with my windows down in my truck, and, you know, so just to feel breeze and just all the things that aren't winter. So
Thanks, Anthony. Good to see you. Michelle.
Hi, everyone. It's good to see you. I'm Michelle. I use she, her, hers. And yeah, like Karen and Jose Luis were talking about their trays. I have a couple where, like Karen, they have not come up yet. So I am just waiting for those to push through the dirt. And can't wait to get out there with Minneapolis Edible Boulevards and get some gardens planted. We have something that's going to be going on in Ventura Village. So I'm really, really excited about the new project that we have going there.
Nice. Thanks, Michelle. Roxanne.
Hi, my name is Roxanne. I go by she, her pronouns, and I'm looking forward to some rest soon with my family.
Thanks, Roxanne. Lene.
Hi, Lene Nelson Seiss. I'm in the Northside Green Zone. She, her, and one of my sisters, I'm still in Idaho, and one of my sisters from Wyoming is coming this weekend, and we're going to go see the Genghis Khan exhibit at the museum. And I'm very excited about that.
Thank you. Julie.
Hey, everyone. Julie Learson, City of Minneapolis, North Minneapolis Promise Zone. She, her. I'm looking forward to, I'm with Anthony, driving with the windows down, walking on the parkways, various parkways, and getting my tomatoes in. Like homegrown tomatoes, that's my thing.
yeah, you need to like bring me some, man. Julie, for real.
I can't. Last year I had so many cherry tomatoes. My mom was out there robbing me every day and I didn't even notice.
Delicious. Andrew.
Hey guys, Andrew Larson here with Northside Green Zone. Live in northeast Minneapolis. Go by he, him, his. and excited to get in person with all you guys, meet you guys a little bit more face to face. So I'm looking forward to all our events coming up and moving from offline to in person, or online to in person.
There you go. Thanks, Andrew. Marquita?
I missed the prompt, Marquita with the Northside Green Zones, and looking forward to running maybe a little more outside, if that's what the prompt is. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Let's say Leslie.
Hello again, everybody. Leslie Jackson, Northside Green Zone. I'm looking forward to taking my Mini Cooper out, and it's a stick, so I'm excited to drive my stick on roads with no ice. So nice to see everybody.
Thanks, Leslie. Joanne?
Hi, Joanne, Northside Green Zone, McKinley resident, she, her. I'm looking forward to two things. On Saturday, I'm going to the Women's Environmental Institute and studying hemp farming. And then May 5, 6, and 7, put it on your calendars, the big Hennepin Technical College plant sale up in Brooklyn Park. I have been busy because I'm a student there. My fingernails are still dirty. We have tons of stuff at good prices.
Thanks, Joanne. Michael?
Michael Cheney, Project Sweetie Pie. I'm on phone. I'm down in Atlanta, Georgia. We're meeting with Kimball Musk from the Big Green Org. He's donated $1 million toward the growing of gardens across the United States and Canada, and Project Sweetie Pie is on the governance board. I'm looking forward to getting this environmental summit successfully completed and seeing it grow in the years to come. So looking forward to the planning and the execution.
Thanks, Michael. Georgiana, you back on?
I'm back on. Georgiana Yantis, she, her. I'm looking forward to planting the garden and working with Michelle Shaw on the Boulevard Garden.
Awesome. Did I miss any Northside Green Zone members? All right. Well, we do have a quorum for Northside. I will quickly do introductions for guests and then hand it over for the adoption of the agenda. So let me see here. Alicia and Amani, I will save you for when your item comes up. I'm seeing we have a documenter from Pillsbury United. Would you like to introduce yourself? Maybe not. Joseph, do you want to introduce yourself?
And apologies, I forgot to rename myself Joe. My mom calls me Joseph when I'm in trouble. But peace and blessings, everybody. My name is Joe Vital. I'm here as your environmental engagement coordinator for Hennepin County. I go by he, him, his, and I really look forward to stoop weather. You know, being out in community and just chopping it up with the old fellows that come by.
Thanks, Joe. Rob, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hey everyone. I'm Rob. I use he, him pronouns. I live in Phillips West, moving to East Phillips soon. And really looking forward to moving, I guess. Yeah, as much as it can be. So.
Thanks, Rob. Spencer?
Hi, everyone. I am Spencer Polk. I live in East Phillips. I'm recently applied to the Southside Green Zone Council, and I'm glad to be here.
Glad to have you. Angela, you want to go next?
Oh, yeah, sure. Angela Williams, Vista for the Sustainability Department, City of Minneapolis, Vista for the green zones. Thank you.
And I'm Kelly Molman. I use she, her pronouns. I'm with the Sustainability Office, staff for the Northside and Southside Green Zones. Did I miss anyone? Has anyone not introduced themselves aside from our two guests, or our three guests? Elizabeth is on now for the Climate Action Plan. All right, great. Well, thank you everyone for being here. And I am handing it over to Andrew.
Yeah, thanks, Kelly. So we'll move on with our agenda. Kelly will paste a copy and link it into the chat for us. It'll also be available at lims.minneapolismn.gov. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Andrew, I'll move the agenda. It's Georgianne.
Thank you. A second.
Michelle will second.
Wonderful. Thank you. Kelly, can you please call roll?
Yep, moving across screens. All right, so I'm calling roll for Northside Green Zone. So I will start with Michael.
Present.
Oh, you're approving the agenda, so just yes or no.
Yes.
Thank you. Joanne?
Yes.
Leslie?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Lene?
Yes.
Roxanne?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Akia?
Yes.
Georgianne?
Yes.
All right, that is unanimous approval of the agenda. So then I think it is now to Akia for the land acknowledgement.
Yes, thank you, Kelly. As we begin, let's pause for a moment to contemplate Indigenous land and enslaved people. We have to start with honesty. Land acknowledgement is a traditional custom dating back centuries for Native communities and nations. For non-Indigenous communities, land acknowledgement is a powerful way of showing respect and honoring the Indigenous people of the land on which we work and live. We invite you to recognize the rich histories of the United States, specifically Midwestern states, as fractured. Let us acknowledge that we are currently on the land of the Indigenous, who continue to be systematically erased by policies and practices that remove their histories from this place. Let us honor the enslaved peoples who built the wealth and foundation of the United States. Let us recognize the histories of the United States as complicit with the racism of white supremacy. We recognize that these difficult histories persist in present-day racial realities and privileges within our environmental justice movement. We commit to dismantling racism in spaces of our work, and we invite you to work beside us to create change. And now I will pass it to Kausar for our next agenda item.
Thank you so much for that. So for our next agenda item, we'll be discussing the Climate Action and Equity Plan. I believe it was in late 2021 when it was first introduced that the Climate Action and Equity Plan would be revisited and that we would be seeking out consultation with external parties to apply for an RFP. So the RFP was posted, folks had applied, and there have been two different organizations or firms selected to lead up that work. The first architecture planning research firm that has been selected is Precipitate, and I will incorporate a link of their website to the chat. And then the second organization that's also co-leading and co-organizing this work is Urban Design Perspectives. I know for Urban Design Perspectives, it's a BIPOC-led organization, and I believe Precipitate might be as well, but Kelly might be able to clarify that piece.
Yeah, we can have them introduce themselves and clarify. I believe Precipitate is woman-owned.
Okay, perfect. Well, if we can open up the floor and have them maybe provide a great introduction to the work that they're doing and what their timeline and plans are to, I think, launch this work, that would be great. So I'll open up the floor for that.
Would you like me to go first? Okay.
Go for it, Alicia.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. My name is Alicia Belton, and I am the principal owner of Urban Design Perspectives. We are a African-American woman-owned architecture, project management, and community engagement firm. We've been around since 1999, and we're so pleased to be working with the sustainability office for the city of Minneapolis. And our team is comprised of my firm and also Precipitate. So Elizabeth, I believe you're on that. Would you like to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, hi everybody, Elizabeth Turner. Precipitate is a women-owned business, and we have been around since 2017 and do architecture and planning with a focus on carbon neutrality and climate justice.
Great. And Amani? Oh, and do you want us to answer your questions too? So my pronouns are she, her, and hers. And what I'm looking forward to for spring is gardening as well. I love to garden. My daughter has actually started an indoor garden of sweet potatoes, and so she's watering them every day and measuring how long the vines are growing. So I can't wait to get them outside because they're getting pretty long. So Elizabeth, and then I think
I can go then pass it off to Mani.
Okay.
She, her, and I am really looking forward to spending time on our front porch and just being out there and being able to hang out with family and friends.
Hi everyone, I'm Imani, she, her. I am the climate justice intern at Precipitate, and I'm really honored to share this space with you all tonight and to be doing this work. And I feel like this is weird, but I'm excited for spring cleaning. I love it. I'm gonna go through my closet and put away all my winter clothes, and I always forget about some nice summer dresses or tank tops and get really excited to wear them. So that's what I'm excited for.
Amani, please come to my house. Okay, well, we can, is this a good time for us just to go ahead and tell us a little bit about what we're gonna do? Okay, perfect.
Yes, please.
Okay. So again, we're excited to get started. We're getting up to speed as to what's been done so far. Maybe can you go to the next slide, please? So we're going to talk just a little bit about our process and what we're thinking about here. We know that the plan, the original plan was in 2013, and we know that there's been a lot of time and energy spent since that time, from things like creating the Clean Energy Partnership to the 100% renewable electricity resolution to these the Northside and Southside green zones. And so we're really getting up to speed on all those processes and plans so that we can make sure that we are incorporating the work that's already been done into the new plan. We want to make sure that we are also listening to all the organizations that we're going to be engaging with. We want to make sure that we're hearing what's important to people in the community, both residents and businesses, and working alongside all the established working groups that have already engaged in this work. And then making sure that we're creating a plan that is centered in equity and human focused. So know that we have spent the last month and a half reading through all these plans and making sure that we have a good understanding of the work that's been done, and to make sure that those things get incorporated as we move forward. Our goals in doing this is to make sure that we're asking, what's missing and who's missing, to ensure that, those voices and perspectives are incorporated into the new plan. We also want to make sure that we are making sure that the plan is accurately capturing the buckets, if you will, of items, be it transportation or water or renewables. We want to make sure that we're hearing that correctly first before we decide what those buckets are. And then from all those engagement meetings, we will summarize all those those ideas and insights and perspectives and present that back to you. But again, just making sure that we are being sensitive to people's ideas and concerns and want to make sure that we're elevating those ideas in the plan. So next slide, please. So Elizabeth, you're going to talk about this one, right?
Yeah, so as Alicia said, we kind of are in this phase one right now of listening. Previous to now, we've been really listening to previous documents that have been created in plans, and we're looking forward to, with this meeting and then future meetings to be setting up, listening to you all and additional community members. The renewable energy, 100% renewable electricity planning document started that work of reaching out to community members and doing engagement activities, which is what will happen in this listening timeframe. Coming back in the testing phase and talking with those people that we have talked about and seeing how the ideas resonate or do not resonate. And then ultimately in the deciding phase, making sure that we all agree as a large community of the city of Minneapolis on the direction that we're headed to achieve our climate goals in the most equitable way possible. What Precipitate is going to be doing is really focused. So Urban Design Perspectives is leading up that engagement work. Precipitate is providing support in form of research and reporting. So what we're working on right now is taking that previous documentation, creating handouts and educational materials we can use during our listening and engagement work, and we'll create a final draft by the end of the year as well. So it's going to move really fast, and I think we're excited with the next slide to start diving in and ask you some questions about, like, primarily how do Green Zone members want to be involved in this process. I'll read through them all, and then I think we can have some time for the open discussion. How do you want regular updates and involvement? So we will have a session at the May 21st Green Zone Summit, which we're really looking forward to. Who else should we be talking to? What else should we be considering? And what education is needed for folks to fully engage with this work? If you have thoughts about what kinds of climate action information, greenhouse gas emissions information, or other types of educational materials that we need to create to fully engage the residents in that you know and work with. So I'll pause there. I think we're really excited to be working with all of you and really excited to hear what you have to say.
Leslie, do you have your hand up?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Hi, you guys.
Hi.
Welcome to the Green Zones. I met you at the Community Environment Advisory Commission, I feel, a couple of weeks ago, and I'm glad that you're here talking to us here today. I do have a couple of questions, and I did ask before, how deep in our community were you going? And since that time has passed, since I first asked that question of you, Ms. Belton, have you broadened your list of participants in our community that do this work, those missing pieces? And have you considered, second question, have you considered having a couple of Green Zone members on your committee to work with you to help make the changes as a voice and representation, to sit with you to have more of involvement for our group of people? Thank you.
Great. Those are great questions. So we actually have not formed the committees yet. So we are actively looking for participants, willing participants to come alongside us. So, you know, we've been given a list of organizations that the sustainability staff will be reaching out to ask for participants. So we don't have that committee yet. So it's we're open. So if you've got some others, yes, we want people from this group. But if there's some other groups that we should be talking to that want to be a part of that steering committee, please let us know. We have not done the schedule yet to reach out to individual organizations. So if you've got specific organizations that you would like for us to talk to, that is still all open. The schedule has not been determined yet.
And part two to that,
Yes.
is there going to be a criteria that one should meet to sit on this committee, or it's just open for those that are concerned? And how much educational background are you looking for the input on it? Because we have a wide variety of people with a wide variety of backgrounds in education in the zones. And so I'm just wondering if there's a criteria that one should meet or need for us to know, or are you going to set that a criteria for those across the board in this planning committee?
That's great. We just wrote a charge for the committee that needs to be vetted with Kim Havey. So we will bring that back as you know, what kind of criteria. Right now, we're anticipating that we're going to meet monthly. So I think time, you know, making sure that an individual would have the time to make that kind of commitment. And then in terms of qualifications, we actually had not talked about that. So so we will add that as part of our discussion for the charge of that committee. So thank you for sharing that. So I can't answer that for you right now, but we will put some thought to what we're looking for. I think right now we're just looking for willing participants that, you know, want to make that kind of time, because it's, you know, we're going to be asking for feedback on a monthly basis. So that folks are super stretched these days. So, you know, want to be mindful of that.
What kind of coordination are you guys doing with Hennepin County and their work that they've already been engaged in? Is there any overlap? Are you guys doing any collaboration? Are you taking advantage of some of the knowledge and information and some of the strategies, tactics that they've already employed and deployed?
Yeah, do you want me to take that one, Alicia?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we hope to sit down with the people who are working on the Hennepin County plan as well as the state of Minnesota plan. And one of the things that we want to do with this work is think about who has power to do what kinds of actions in this work. So there's things that the state can do, there's things that the county can do, and there's things that the city of Minneapolis has kind of a unique ability to do. And so we want to make sure that our plan sits within that larger framework, but also that when we think about what the actions are, it's things that the city and residents of the city can really engage with. So yes, but we're still early in the process. It's a good point.
They have Patience Casel from Hennepin County. They have a number of cohorts that are looking at climate justice, that are looking at food justice, environmental justice, and you might even approach Mary Carius or Patience or John Evans to see if indeed you could engage some of those green partners and see, since they already have activities, events in play, you know, it might align with some of your interests and efforts if you could get some of those stuff coordinated. People are scheduling events where I'm sure they would be happy to include your team.
That's great. Yeah, would you be able to share those names with us?
I can certainly do that.
Awesome, thank you.
Especially if you send me an email, then I'll remember.
Is this Michael speaking?
Michael Cheney, Project Sweetie Pie. My email's mvchain@aim.com.
I got a quick question. I'm sorry to ask another question, but are you with this information and this planning group, and some of the rules that govern our city and different entities, are you looking to do policy change, law changes in this work?
I think that's definitely on the table.
Yeah, I can give a little context. Our current climate action plan has a number of recommendations in it that we have followed through with over the last almost 10 years since it was adopted, that have included policy changes at the city, including disclosure of energy for different building types, so commercial buildings, multifamily buildings. We're now about to get down to 1 to 4 residential units. It will be a very exciting launch. A sustainable building policy for at least municipal buildings that just got adopted in November of this year that we're hoping to push out for private sector buildings that the city helps finance this year. And the green zones as an initiative. It's not quite a policy ordinance with teeth, but it is a policy in the sense that there is a resolution that has designated the green zones. So there's a variety of different policies that we have already implemented and are definitely excited to look for more.
I'll just throw this out. How do people feel about like what kind of education is needed for folks to fully engage with this work? You know, as part of our engagement, we wanted it to be an active, interactive. And so as we are asking for people's input, we know that there's a varying level of understanding about what all of this means. So what do you think would be helpful?
Well, the environmental movement has been an apartheid movement led by the intellectual elite. That's the whole problem now, that why their efforts have failed is because they haven't been inclusive. You know, they haven't been proactive, rather snobbish that someone had to be educated. Well, global warming and climate change is going to impact, and affect all of us here on planet Earth. So I think it's incumbent on the work that it be reflective, that you can't talk about inclusiveness and exclude people around educational or academic pursuits. And so whatever that might mean in terms of defining and designing inquiry, staging events with organizations that are grassroots, you know, it can't just be the educated elite who are crafting the agenda, because it's our communities that are paying the price because of the impact of global warming, climate change, and environmental hazards that we are all suffering from. So I think you need to be very conscious of that and cognizant of that when you are doing your engagement, that it's all inclusive, not exclusive.
Thank you, Michael. Karen had her hand up. Karen.
Okay. I was actually going to ask the question before you asked the question about the education. If you don't mind, I wanted to go back to something that was said a little bit earlier. Is that
Sure.
okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was a question about what I think I'm not sure who actually mentioned it. The question of what kind of teeth your advisory work will actually have with the county. And I say that because I feel like, you know, in terms of the city, the kinds of advice that we've tried to give has really not had any teeth for the most part, you know. And so I'm just, you know, we can come forward with things that we think are really important policy-wise, and they're not being enforced really to the degree that we would like. And so I'm just wondering, is there, first of all, do you know what your the impact of your hard work is going to be? And then secondly, well, maybe we'll just start with that. I mean, is there any assurance that this is really going to be taken seriously by the powers that be? That was, because that would have a lot to do with getting people engaged, you know?
I'd say that's what keeps me up at night, but maybe Kelly has an answer.
It keeps me up at night too. I mean, as we all know on this call, that has been the primary challenge with the green zones work is, you know, all of the blood, sweat, and tears and love that has been put into the work plans and every meeting that you all have showed up to and the challenges that we've had in moving some of those items forward or getting consistent budgeting to do work. Know that you will have at least a staff of 5 behind this plan. Elizabeth, Alicia, and Imani and others are here to help us. But ultimately the whole sustainability team at the city is behind this. We are actively talking about doing a mayoral stock take at the kickoff to get the mayor's support behind the plan and have city department leadership at that meeting. We want to reestablish a cross-departmental working group, for lack of a better word, or committee on this, so that department leadership comes together at least quarterly, if not more often, to talk about how all of our different departments, not just the 5 staff in sustainability, are doing this work and being accountable. So we're focused on that as well. And I think with all of your support and lending your voice to this, contacting your council members and all the other elected officials and reminding them how important this is, we will have more of that power to get the work done.
And I don't know if people are aware that Minnesota 350 is launching the People's, Amanda, can you help me out? I think it's a People's Climate Action and Equity background, and they're doing organizing work to put pressure on council members to make sure that they take this seriously. Do you want to add anything more, Imani? I think that's maybe a good place to engage from the people power side of things.
Yeah, I mean, I would just add that it's exactly that. Like, I was shocked by the amount of people who were at that meeting. So there are other people, and there are a lot of them who are on the same page as us and that want to see this get done. So there's support out there.
We have run out of time for today. So I think that question of how do you all want to be engaged in this going forward is critical. Maybe drop some ideas in the chat or feel free to follow up with me at any point. As is noted, there'll be a session at our Green Zone Summit coming up in just over a month. But if you want Elizabeth, Imani, and Alicia to come back at future meetings, we can do that. I think many of our meetings will likely be open to the public. We'll also have hopefully a representative or 2 from the Green Zones on the steering committee going forward once that's established. And then if we want to have any special conversations, I am here at your disposal. So
can I ask another question?
Very quickly, we got a few other agenda items to get to.
Do you guys have any budget? And if so, what does that mean? Can you do outside events if folks want to stage events and include you? Do you guys have any budget for marketing for any of this thing? Have they given you guys a working budget to really do engagement?
Yes. So yes, we and then we want to get outside. So yeah, so we do have budget to do that. We want it to be creative, we want it to be interactive, and we want it to be educational and fun. And so yes, we do have budget to do that.
Well, please reach out to me. Please reach out to me. We're hoping to do some educational events through our Hennepin County Green Partner Grant around climate change and global warming. So I'd like to talk with you about some prospective partnering.
Absolutely, that would be great. That would be great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Alicia, Elizabeth, and Imani for being here, spending your evening with us. I'll be sure to check in with you if there's any follow-up questions that come after. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting and hear more about the Green Zone Summit and the Billboard competition, or take off. Totally up to you.
Thanks, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you. So I'm taking over here and doing an update on the Green Zone Summit. I know there are others on the call who have also been very actively helping to organize. So what I'm going to do is just start with a quick overview of where we're at with the draft agenda, and then ask some discussion questions. So this is a Google Doc that you all can have access to. I'll be happy to drop the link in the chat in just a minute. What we have in terms of the overall picture is 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Convention Center as part of the Community Connections Conference. We have a block of meeting rooms and can essentially use those rooms however we want. There has been many of you who've been part of planning for this and have helped put together the current agenda. So this table here shows the time, and then 4 different breakout rooms. If we really want to, we can have more than 4. This was just an effort to kind of contain the summit into something feasible. So we've got some open time from 9 to 10. The programming for the Green Zone Summit really starts at 10 o'clock. Right now, what's proposed is an opening and welcome by yours truly and the Green Zone members. We have yet to figure out who will be helping with that opening. And then a panel conversation kind of about the history and the experience of working on the green zones. We had at one point thought we might get Dr. Cecilia Martinez, formerly the Executive Director of Center for Earth, Energy, and Democracy, and then most recently working with the White House on their environmental justice work, but have not heard back. So we'll probably just end up doing a panel, which is great. I think we should all hear from each other.
She works for Amazon now.
Really? I did not hear that. And then Yolanda from Northside Green Zone is going to do a healing circle. This will be different. If anyone has participated in her sessions before, it'll be a little bit different. I think she's going to tailor it to a larger group with a shorter amount of time. And it might be more of like a grounding experience. We're not entirely sure. A lot of this is just draft right now. So there's not a lot of detail behind this. Then next, I have been communicating with the 10 funding recipients of the Green Zone dollars from fall of 2021 to confirm whether they will be available to showcase the work that they did with the $5,000 they each received. So I'm hearing a lot of good response from that. Most of them are agreeing to come. So we'll just have to figure out how do we showcase that work in the best way. But a lot of really cool stuff is coming from those projects. And then we'll have the first proposed breakouts. And we've attempted to organize these by topic. So as our previous presenters shared, we've got a session on the Climate Action and Equity Plan. Michael Cheney has proposed Queens of Greens panel discussion. Center for Earth, Energy, and Democracy is updating their environmental justice map. So they're going to share that. And I know Rob and Alondra have been in touch with them. So there may be some additional coordination. There's several mapping projects going on. And then JC, who is with Environmental Initiative and the Northside Safety Net, may be doing something with the youth who are working on that now. Over lunch, we have a few different options. We haven't quite settled on what that would look like. So we could do a panel. We could do more discussion topics. So less being talked at and more talking to each other, or some sort of arts and entertainment to be determined. And then we have the items that are in bright yellow are just ideas that have been proposed. So we've got maybe an item or a session on food systems. Michelle, you're being called out here if you're interested in presenting on boulevards, though you could also be featured in the previous session on up here on the community projects that receive funding. We've got Rusty and the crew doing recycling education, community air monitoring project that many of you are aware of and have been attending meetings about. We can showcase where those air sensors have been placed. Hopefully at that point they will have been placed, and what we plan on doing with that information. Karen Clark requested doing something about East Phillips Indoor Urban Farm.
Yay!
And then then we have another breakout session. This, as Amani was talking about, there's work that MN350 and a lot of organizers are doing on the People's Climate Plan. So that could follow. Oh, I think something is missing here. So we were gonna, I think there is a session. Oh yeah, so here's the session on the cities one, and then later we have the session from MN350. We've talked with Hennepin County about having them come and do a session on their zero waste plan. And then potentially having a couple breakouts back to back on different health topics. So we could do one on lead poisoning, both in home and then like lead in water due to pipes. And potentially something on green workforce. So Marquita, we might be following up with you. And then the final breakout sessions, maybe hearing from Freo, and then maybe having folks from the BIPOC EJ table coming and talk about HERC, so getting another perspective on that zero waste and environmental justice conversation. More potential topics around health. We've also had folks who are working within the city health department who have been working for the last couple of years on contaminants of emerging concern, show interest in potentially having a session. So that could fit in one of these health breakouts. And then there's this whole emerging topic around resilience hubs. And we have a couple organizations in Minneapolis looking at doing these as sort of beefed up in community centers that have solar and battery storage and are able to respond during time of emergency. So we can have a session on that. There's a lot to fit in a 5-hour window. So this is the proposed agenda. What we wanted to discuss today were sort of one, get like a thumbs up or any like questions or concerns that people might have on the topic. We're not going to deep dive into it so much because there's been a lot of thinking behind the scenes and in other meetings with many folks who are currently on the call. But if there's any like red flags or like you're clearly missing this, or I have a major concern with this, that would be great to hear now before the folks who've been working on planning this event kind of confirm speakers and other things like that. Sorry, Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, today I was on a Zoom call with Cheyenne and Bodine, who and the conversation was about doing some vaccinations. So they're working through the issues of that. CPC is a Northside Health Hub nonprofit that is interested in being involved, being engaged, and doing some vaccinating. So that's going to happen. But it also struck me in the conversation today with Cheyenne, and in looking at the itinerary, that I think that Native American community would be either through some kind of drum ceremony or healing ceremony that would really kind of bless the event, bless Mother Earth, bless all of us as earthlings. And so again, I think that that's something that to me is kind of a glaring omission, is that as stewards of the earth, that the indigenous community needs to be, from my perspective, more visible, and could really, when we did our event on the north side, we had some openings remarks with some drumming and some smudging. And so something like that, I think it's incumbent on us as living, working in Dakota land, that we conscientiously try to not only do that through land acknowledgement, but we also turn to the indigenous community for spiritual enlightenment.
Thank you, Michael. Did Cheyenne share if NCR was planning on doing that as part of the Community Connections conference?
Well, I didn't broach that question today.
Okay.
It actually, again, by talking with her, I did reach out to Anita Gates and some folks that I'm working with through the Sacred Tree Garden about, we're looking at doing a powwow in North Minneapolis. And so I reached out to her because of my concerns, to see if, one, she knew or would be interested in playing as a partner in the Celestial Garden, as a partner in the Sacred Tree Garden project that we're working on. Might she be interested? Might she know some Native elders who would be interested in playing a role? And she affirmed that she might be able to bring some resources around that.
Okay, great. Thank you. Jose Luis?
Hey, Kelly, I just want to see if you could clarify. I don't know if I heard correctly. So the what's in my neighborhood thing is not happening, or it is happening?
It is the session on environmental justice mapping.
Yeah.
Yes, that is happening.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry if that was confusing. It's the we had invited the former executive director of SEED to do the keynote and hadn't heard back with a confirmation, but staff at SEED, Sai, Natalia, and Ansha have been part of the conversations around planning, and have requested to do an update on their mapping, their environmental justice mapping. So that will be a session.
So this is not what's in my neighborhood MPCA. This is their own search engine tool.
I'm not exactly sure what exactly their environmental justice mapping is, if it's an interactive or compilation of different things. Again, this was, we kind of just have the high level ideas, not a lot of details behind the different sessions yet.
Okay, because yeah, I was just thinking that, you know, there's a lot of mapping tools out there, especially what we use at the MPCA, that are really helpful to give you a distance look of what's happening and who lives where. You know, but I just want to clarify that if there was going to be those tools, because I know also EPA EJ tool, which is recently updated and more friendly. It's easier to use these days. But yeah, I was just trying to get some clarification on that. No worries.
Yeah.
Cool. Excited that someone's gonna nerd out with maps around EJ.
No, those are great questions. I'm also seeing Rob smile. Rob, I don't know, have you had a chance to talk with Natalia or Sai or Ansha about coordinating your mapping projects?
They're really busy, but we're gonna meet up because yeah, we're also working on an interactive mapping tool on EJ. So it's hopefully we'll all team up and make something great.
Yeah, cool. You know, feel free to send me an email, because I kind of really support internally agencies to kind of use these tools actively about what's going on top of other maps that kind of demonstrate, you know, racial covenants and redlining. There are also other filters that need to be overlaid, especially when we're talking about policy and these tools being used in those elements. So if you could shoot me an email, it'd be cool to just sit in or support.
Please, yeah, we're wanting to do exactly that and meet and build it with everyone. So yeah, what's your email? Could you drop it in the chat?
Yeah.
I'd like to be included on those conversations as well. I actually have
I would too.
I have a research project at the university through CURE. It's called the Nile of the North, and we are. I've got a bunch of IONE students and some students from McAllister and that who are working on this, what I call the Green Atlas, the Nile of the North, and it's looking through the lens of food, water, soil, waste, energy. So again, I'd like to be included in those conversations. We will be having some students out that day who will be gathering information and trying to identify environmental leadership so that it can be part of the Green Atlas.
Great. Well, everyone drop your emails in the chat if you want Rob to circle back with you on the mapping project. Lene, you've got your hand up.
I was just wondering, I've been to multiple community connections conferences and I've been in some breakout rooms where I'm one of only 2 people. So if we do have low attendance in some, do we have an idea to consolidate? Like if there's 4 breakouts per half hour and 2 are really well attended and 2 are sparsely attended, are we going to collapse them, or are we going to keep, would someone still run their breakout even if there's only 1 or 2 members in the room?
I think that is a very important question. Maybe the folks who've been working in the Green Zone Summit planning conversations, we could circle back on that one and figure out what we would want to do in that circumstance. Do you have any suggestions, Lene?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I always feel bad when they're giving their whole heart and soul to just 1 or 2 people. And I'm usually interested in so many things. So it's like, I don't mind going to the next room and learning a different topic. You know, but then you also feel bad for the people presenting that nobody came to their breakout. So it's kind of, I don't know. I guess I'm more for consolidating.
Cool. Let's see, Anthony.
I was actually trying to take my hand down because I know time is limited, and I know Roxanne mentioned that too. So I didn't want to take up too much time. But with Lunch Kelly and how you guys build and there's entertainment and everything that you had in your program, I just wanted to remind folks that lunch is provided. So if there's a break time, lunch is free. So I don't know if you wanted to just program through lunch and not, have some food, but I just wanted to make that clear as this collaboration with NCR and our Community Connections Conference, that's there. So just to be mindful of that. I just wanted to put that in the space. So, and Angela's been a part of these meetings, and it's been really a pleasure for her to be a part of this planning committee with NCR. But just wanted to say, people got to eat, so just to make sure that's known. So.
Yes, yeah, thank you so much, Anthony. And it's been really great to be able to work with NCR staff and not have to worry about all of those logistics and a lot of the costs, since we're leveraging all the planning that you're doing. So yeah, my understanding is it will be sort of boxed lunches, so folks can just grab them from the main exhibit hall, and then if we want to have like table topics on the green zones or other either entertainment or panel discussion during lunch, we can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. You can grab and go. I just wanted to make sure that was clear. And I didn't know, I haven't known about your planning sessions, but just to make sure that's clear for folks. So.
Perfect. Andrew.
Yeah, thanks. What I was, and we can talk about it maybe just as a group really briefly and not take too much time on it, but as far as kind of the stacking those, was it 4 different breakout rooms? I mean, there were some that were maybe still questions as far as if they were scheduled or not. I'd just say I think an easier or maybe some type of consolidation just on the front end to try and run like maybe two sessions at most at one time is a way to try and boost attendance to the ones that are going on. But just an idea, not something we have to agree on or come to a final solution on right now as far as how to execute it. But just a thought as far as logistics.
Yep. We will take note of that and circle back to that at our next summit planning meeting. Michelle.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I missed this, but my question was whether or not the breakouts were going to be recorded. Because I was just thinking if there was one that was less attended, then that way people could get the information from that one in another way. So anyway, that was just my idea.
Good question. So all of the content will be in person at the convention center, but I know that there are people smarter and more tech savvy than me that are good at like Facebook Live events and things like that. So that is something that we could always work out. We would need probably like a volunteer to use their phone or whatever gadget to be capturing that. But the convention center does offer Wi-Fi. So if that's something that we wanted to figure out, I'm sure we could. Karen, go ahead.
Okay, I was trying to get into the chat, and for some reason I'm not able to get into it. So I was way back when Rob was asking about folks talking about the mapping and stuff. I just wanted to offer to provide some information from the Women's Environmental Institute, because we've got our maps based on income, ownership, traffic was the most recent one that we put onto the map. So I just, in addition to all the other things that have to do with documenting certain racial health disparities. So I can't get into the chat to give you my email. So maybe Kelly, could you share it? I just can't make it work. Maybe you could share it with Rob.
Yes, will do.
Thank you.
Okay, so I appreciate all of this feedback. We are taking notes and we'll incorporate your comments and definitely just continue to discuss the questions that you were raising. Another thing that we had also talked about within the planning group and through a couple emails was offering an environmental justice tour, having Roxanne do one of her tours, not necessarily during the summit, because again, that could stretch attendance thin, but offering a sign up during the summit where then the tour could be offered at a later date. Roxanne offers those tours for $2,000, and I think Roxanne, you're still here. Yeah, so did you want to do like a little preview of what that would look like? And I would love to have the folks tonight kind of do a quick vote on whether we want to have that as an offering. So Roxanne?
Yeah, I had just sent an email to Angela too, in case people wanted like the information still at the event. So like if people don't want this to be something where people would get up and leave and go to, because I mean the point of the in-person tour is like you actually get to go to these places. But I can still, we have a virtual version of it. And like I told Angela, I still would charge the same price. Only because a lot of people are requesting them, and it just takes a lot of like coordination to get everything done. And I think people probably don't even understand how long it takes. But we could do, we could do the PowerPoint presentation we have, or, we could do the tour on a future date. I'm just at my capacity with volunteering. You know what I mean? It's been 10 years and I'm still looking for my bag, period, because I put a lot of volunteering, a lot of late nights without my kids and my family. And I'm just not, you know what I'm saying? I'm just not doing it no more.
No volunteering. You are, or I should say, no additional volunteering. You're volunteering for
Right.
this.
I still volunteer, but
yeah.
yeah. I mean, because it's the city's money, so
Yep.
pay me.
I see Michelle dropped in the chat, loves the idea of offering at another time and having people sign up on the day of. Lene also, does anyone want to make a motion that the Green Zone members support an EJ tour that would be available, that we offer it at a later date, but sign up at the summit for 2,000 of our 100,000 for the year going towards that?
I do. Michelle.
I
I'll
second it. Leslie second it. And I have a question. Does Roxanne, do you have access to electric bus?
No, but I'm sure the city does.
I think that maybe, I know I support giving funding for that tour. But I was wondering if there a way that we could probably figure out a way so you can continue the tour on electric bus. You know what I mean? Because you're driving in emissions.
I love that idea.
I support it.
Yeah, I mean, if whoever can coordinate that, that's great.
I see Karen, you have a hand up.
Yeah. Oh, I just wondering, does the tour include the Southside Green Zone or just Northside?
Well, I always have wanted to bring the whole, like when we first started to think about it, it was about bringing in like Northeast, Southside, Northside, but we have 7 stops already on the North Side, and that's not all of the, like culprits. That's just what we kind of could put together within a 2-hour period, that would fit into a 2-hour period. If we start adding more stops or more, so like me and Marquita are working on one where there's, going to be like a stop over south, a school over south, but we're still going to take them over north, but we're going to add in in which I was going to reach out to Joe. Well, me and Joe's been talking, but like, Jose Luis is on here. He does tours on the South Side. So there's always like room for coordinating. We've got the Roof Depot situation over South. It's always a pleasure to combine these efforts so that we can tell our story and go for our goals at the same time. So that's the point of it. So yeah, it could always be expanded. It's just a matter of, we've already put this together. You know what I'm saying? So it's ready to go. And if once you start adding other things, that's more organizing, that's more time, that's more thinking, that's more research. So any of that would be extra work for me. That's why if people are asking me to come to the table, I'm coming to the table with something already ready. If anybody wants to do anything additional, that would require people to come in additionally, or that would require way more money, like I said.
Maybe if I could respond, it sounds like you've, got your hands full, and that's great. As you mentioned, there's a number of us on the South Side who probably could contribute,
Right. And you guys already have stops that you already know your story. And so
right.
It doesn't have to be, it could be a whole nother tour for the South Side that you guys do on your own.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That's what I was going to say there. We could probably do another one South Side. So that was going to be just what I suggestion that, as you mentioned, Joe, Jose Luis, myself, we've all done these kinds of tours and discussions on the South Side. So yeah, we could take responsibility for that and do it maybe another time. So.
And sorry, I'm jumping in really last minute. When are the scheduled tours for the North Side occurring?
You said when are the scheduled tours?
Yeah, or are they just proposed at this moment?
So it's just word of mouth. Like, we don't market them.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So like, if you want one, you would just reach out to me, and you know what I'm saying? You would have a date and you would have a time that you need this. And then either you would work out transportation or I would. If you work out transportation, then you take off $400 off of it. And then, we just do it. There's no I mean, I have scheduled tours with a bunch of other people, but like, There's no scheduled tours. I just kind of like we gave 2 tours during the strike, the teachers strike pro bono.
Yeah.
Because I always believe like the community should get the information for free.
Yep.
So we did those pro bono, and we organized them within less than 2 weeks.
Wow.
So we did North High and we did PYC, and that was my second one that I've done for PYC. But so I'll always figure out how to get the money if I need to pay other people with me or even myself. I'll always figure out how to fundraise the money to do it for community. But whenever we're working with government or corporations, like I just am very strict about now making sure that they either pay full price or even more. You know,
Right.
Yep.
And what I'm thinking is, could there possibly, and this is, I guess, more so if the Northside folks are interested in this, but as we're discussing the climate action plan, is there room within that budget to support some of these tours and for them to actually get that boots on the ground experience of what is happening on the North Side and who the folks are and the stakeholders are in the community? And then maybe we can possibly use that as a model in the South Side, because clearly there's a lot being done on the North Side.
Yeah,
Y'all
I
are
would
far more
love
active.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a great idea.
I would love to see you guys do, you know, a Southside version, because I think then what we could do is we could merge them and take off some of our stops. Like I don't have to have all the stops from the North Side on it, but that's currently what we offer for the North Side. And then, you know, you don't have to have all your stops from the tour that you end up making. We can blend it, you know. I mean, because as of right now, we do GAF, we do the 4th precinct.
Mhm.
You know, we go around with 4 precincts on Plymouth, so there's lots of history there. And
Mhm.
then we do the Herc, we do Northern Metals. We just had the pleasure of doing the last tour, was the first tour we've ever did where we talked about Northern Metals in the past tense. So that was super exciting. We do Upper Harbor Terminal, and we take people now to the Terrell Mays Memorial Garden and Juxtaposition Arts as a starting point and an ending point.
And then do y'all get as far as like where Justice Builds is and the work that they're doing over there? I think it's Jimmy LaLloyd and those folks on that property that's on West Broadway.
No, the stops that I mentioned were the stops that we do.
Okay.
Oh, we take people to Spirit Island too.
Okay.
We have 8 minutes left. Are we going to continue or go
Yeah, 'cause
overtime?
we have
Or
billboards. We have billboards
Yep.
too. Okay.
If there is no further discussion or questions on the tour, I can call roll because we have a motion and a second to approve the expense for the EJ tour. Let me pull that up. All right, so I will start with Akia.
Yes.
Andrew.
Yes.
Joanne.
Yes.
Lene.
Yes.
Leslie.
definitely yes.
Michelle.
Yes.
Roxanne.
I don't think I can vote. Can I?
Well,
It's okay.
sure.
I'll abstain.
All right, there we go. And then we don't have a quorum for Southside members, but if folks want to like give a thumbs up or like whatever. I'm seeing, okay, awesome. Seeing some thumbs up. Great. So that motion is approved, and Roxanne will work with you to put together a sign-up sheet for the summit and figure out the date at which that tour will happen. Oh, I missed Michael. I'm sorry. Michael, what is your vote?
Sure.
Sure. And Georgianne, are you still on?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
My vote is yes.
Wonderful. Thank you. I apologize, Michael and Georgianne. Okay, so yes, we have gone a little over time with this last agenda item, but I do want to hand it over to Leslie to talk about all the billboard updates.
Well, thank you, Kelly, and thank you, Roxanne, for that tour. I want to try to find a electric bus, work with you on that. Updates on the billboard. I formed a committee. We're called the Syndicate, Minneapolis Environmental Justice Arts Syndicate. The great news is this billboard contest is a pathway to education. The initiative, I gotta stop saying environmental initiative said that they would sponsor a new program with Minneapolis College Arts and Design, a 10-week program it would be included with one of the winners. I haven't figured it out. Maybe the top winners would be able to have a boot camp for the summer to get experience for web design and computer arts. So I'm looking forward to that. So Minneapolis College Arts and Design students and their program with the teaching will be judging the art. And I think it's a great opportunity for our grad soon to be art student to mingle and to work with these guys in this avenue for art. So what I have created is an avenue for art for the Green Zone kids. So the contest will be North and Southside Green Zone kids in the contest. So not only will their art be on the billboard, one chosen student, and all the art collected will be creating the first environmental justice coloring book with the support of Sierra Club, and getting information for different events for the first things and the events that happen in our city of Minneapolis, working with the Minnesota Historical Society and some other people to build this, to make it a good book, a good educational book besides a coloring book for the kids in our community. Also, the Sierra Club wants to sponsor another coloring book contest to go in the summertime. So there's good things coming from this contest, a lot of opportunity for our youth. And I'm working on doing a press release on Monday. And so I don't know how it's going to fit in this summit, but trust and believe me, I want to get at least 100 kids there. I don't want it to be too late for them so they can participate in the activities, get their announcements, and get their awards and keep it moving to have them something to look forward to in the next continuous as education grows in our community. And so it's an essay attached to it as well. So I want to give them something to look forward to be creative and keep their minds stimulated from all the trauma and all the things that our students and our youth and all of us need to heal, and through the arts, and let them paint and do all this great stuff. So I'm just really excited about how this has turned out to be. And I have Green Zone members, South and Northside, working on this, as well as people from the community environmental advisory. So it's just a lot of people working on it, and I'm just so excited, and just got to figure out how we're going to make this announcement and lay out the design for the kids to get their art. So it's just a pathway for education, and I'm just so excited that these kids will be able to get this experience in the summertime, and it will hopefully continue. And the man who designing this program is called Paul Burlick or something. Kelly, can you help me with this pronunciation? Because you've been included in the emails. I've been keeping you in touch. Maybe you haven't been really reading because I know you got other things going on. But he's a person that opposed Upward Terminal, and he does designs. So he's working with the Minneapolis College Arts and Design for this program, and it's going to be funded. So it's really good, and I'm excited for our kids and our community. And thank you. And that's that. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to also have the third place be have t-shirts, and the logo will be for the Green Zone. So I have t-shirts getting funded for us. So if everybody that wants one, but I hope everybody does, because it would be the third place winners art and a logo on the t-shirts for Green Zone. And everybody please make a form so you guys can give sizes so they can get the correct size so everybody can get a t-shirt. Okay? For being a Green Zone member. So yeah, I'd like to get weigh in on colors, or if you want it on design or big or whatever. So I like to get a vote on that. So Thank you.
And Leslie, do you have any asks for Green Zone members tonight? What's your budget looking like? Do you need any volunteers? Do you need folks to review the designs and be judges on panels?
Well, it's open. If anybody wants to be the judge, that's fine. Anybody can volunteer to help create and organize the pages of the coloring book. Also, the honorees will be on the environmental justice directory that we're going to, all the information that we're collecting. And I'm going to ask Anthony if we can use that information from all the registers, so nobody's left out in any of these planning committees that the KSR had spoke of, and any other meetings that in decisions that we have. So forming that directory, Kelly said it's okay. We can put it on the Green Zone's website, and every time there's a decision or planning, people can take that and they can't make an excuse why this is happening, that we get left out. So that's going on with that information. So I'm just looking forward to using the data that we collect and the artwork to be creative for our youth to give them hope and change. And so 18 to 15-year-olds, you know, and I don't want to look at anybody's name. It's just the creativity. So I'm just really excited, and I want to keep it going to open this pathway for hope for our kids. So as far as the budget, I'm still kind of working. Bill at the initiative said he's has some people he's talking to. He's got to circle back around with me. So he's talking to Best Buy and some other people. So I really don't know how that budget goes, but I want to just have 2 billboards, and one for the Southside and one over on 94. My mistake, I don't know. I'm old. There used to be a billboard on Penn and Broadway, and I was hoping at KMOJ. Sorry, but the highway, I'm looking at putting it there so whoever's child northeast or north can see that, and then Southside at George Floyd, 38th in Chicago. So securing those and everything. So that's what's happening with the billboards. So it's a new name and new day and a new entity for the green zones for our youth, south and north. Leave no child behind. And that's what I'm looking to do that. And I thank you guys for all your support and being who you are. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. I'm excited to be working with you on this. We are 3 minutes over, so if anyone has to go, that's okay, but I'm going to hand it over to Kelly for any last minute announcements that you've got.
Yeah, I sent a bunch in the email preceding this meeting, and I will send them all again in the next day or two. The first one is our meetings are going back in person starting in May. Northside meetings, Southside meetings will be in person again. Our next Southside meeting is Wednesday, May 4th. I've got the South meeting room at the Phillips Community Center booked for us. Your meeting invitation and your calendar will get updated shortly. Northside, we're having to move our meeting from the first Tuesday of the month to the second Tuesday because it is Eid al-Iftar for Ramadan. And so it will be on May 10th. Location still to be determined. I'm hoping Farview Park, but I haven't heard back from them yet. So yeah, all future meetings at this point in person. Any of our planning conversations around the Green Zone Summit or community air monitoring, those I'm still going to be doing online. But due to open meeting law, we have to have our board and commission official meetings in person. The next, I mentioned this earlier, but please get your friends, family, and neighbors to apply to join the Southside Green Zone Council. We, as I said, have 10 vacancies. We're looking for youth. We're looking for residents. We're looking for at-large members who are non-voting, but they could just work in the neighborhood, or maybe they're former residents of the neighborhood. They're concerned community members who are passionate about environmental justice, and then resident voting members. So we're accepting applicants through April 15th. They can probably squeak in a few days after that if they want, but the sooner we get them, the sooner we can get them on board and appointed. Rob mentioned a little bit about EJ mapping project. I'm not sure if you wanted to say anything else, but we'll probably have more opportunities to talk with you and Alondra about that. Ding head nod. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send an email.
Okay, cool. Michelle sent me an update on an Edible Boulevards project. The Edible Boulevards Budding Plant-Based Directory has been launched. I will send a link out to that. You are hearing it first. The official announcement will be going out later tonight. So that's some exciting work that the Green Zones has helped fund into existence. And then there's several other items that I'm not going to list all of them for the sake of time, but please review the email. Includes like 6 different job postings, some for youth internships, some full-time gigs, some organizing opportunities. So share all of this information far and wide if you know anyone who's interested. Any announcements that folks on the call want to make before we sign off?
Have the Minnesota Department of Transportation is doing a summer internship. Was that one of the ones that you shared?
It is. I can drop it in the chat here, and it will be in an email that you will get in the next day or two.
Great.
Question, will Michelle's book be posted on the Green Zone's website or the pamphlet, the directory?
It is currently a Google Doc, so I can follow up with her and see if she wants it posted as a PDF or something like that. But yeah, we could probably do that.
That would be nice to have access to like that.
And yes, Lene, our website has a map of the Southside Green Zone. It's the 4 Phillips neighborhoods in Cedar Riverside. I'll drop that link in the chat too.
Kelly, really quickly, this is Jose Luis. Cheney and I were in a conversation today with NPR, is looking to gather people's perspectives and understandings of the intersection of environmental justice throughout the whole state to kind of feed into their theme conversation with Angela Davis there on in April. I'll throw it into the chat really quick before people log off, but you're able, if you can, register, sign up, and share your stories, how it relates to environmental justice, racial justice, and so it's a great opportunity.
Thank you,
Luis.
All right, and also at any point, feel free to email each other when you have announcements. I don't need to be the conduit for that. I'm happy to be if you're missing email addresses, but you're also welcome to just reply all and share all of the great things that you're doing with each other. So yeah, thanks everyone. It was great to hear you and see you all tonight, and we'll see you next time. Have a good night.
Good
Thanks,
evening.
y'all.
Bye, everybody.
See ya. Thank you.